very good evening. Welcome in the ring. Let's fight, guys. Happy Thursday evening, wherever you're joining us from, at home here in Guyana or in the diaspora. Welcome in the ring. Let's fight. Hope you got on your boxing gloves. Hope you got on your other gears. It's going to be a fight night. Because you know why it's going to be a fight night? Because you guys are going to be in the ring this evening. Yep. As soon as I'm through with the hot topics, I'm going to be ready for you guys to come through at around perhaps 8:25, 8:30. You can WhatsApp me on 627 6963. Just WhatsApp me yes, and I'll send you that link. 627 6963. Just text yes to that, and I'll let you come on live around 8:25, 8:30. You need a bit of lighting, folks. Make sure the light is to your face, and make sure you dress appropriately, guys. Make sure you dress appropriately, and I'll be happy to have you in the ring on any number of issues. Again, very, very happy to have each and every one of you in the ring this evening. Let's get down to it. You guys know how we do it. We're gonna wait until we get to this magic number, and then we are going to start. And we're already off, guys. As you come on Twitter, we ask you to retweet, send us your comments. We're going to try to share some of them during the broadcast. You're joining us on Facebook, on whichever page you're picking us up from. You send us your comments too. Give us a reshare there. You're joining us from YouTube, guys. You know how we do it. Subscribe, click the subscribe button, and add your comments there. We're happy to receive you from all ends. Really happy to have all you guys with us, and we're doing some sharing also. All right. Let me ensure that we have everything we need, and we're gonna start. Folks. Ensure that we have all that we need, and we are gonna start. Nobody's gonna be left out. No rings either left behind tonight. No ringside left behind. All right. And we need to share a couple other places, and we're going to get on the ball, folks. Quite a bit of information to share with you guys this evening. Quite a bit. And we are thankful that so many of you are joining us. We are thankful. You guys can message us on WhatsApp as well. You guys are free to message us on WhatsApp as well. Send your yes there, and we're going to make sure that we hook you up. We're going to make sure that we guys give you the hookup. All right, I am ensuring that I am also sharing to a couple of places. Guys, tag a friend, share on Facebook, retweet on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube. Simple instructions. Happy to have all of you here. We are ready to go at my end. Well, not totally ready. I want to share just 2 other places, and then we're going to be ready to go. Happy you guys are with us. Very happy you guys are with us. All right, almost, guys. Let's get that reshare. Let's get our reshare on. Almost ready. Let's get our reshare on. Almost ready. Almost ready there. One more place, and we're good to go. All right, let me see if I can do this quickly. Good to have so many of you. Hope you guys have had a good day at work. All right, I'm good to go. Hope you guys have had a good day at work. We almost had that magic number before we start. Some of you are still at work. Our thoughts are with you guys. Hope you got the strength to finish this shift. We out there taking care of business. It's all about the money, folks. It's all about the money. We got to live. You got to eat. You got to dress. You got to go to work. You got to send your kids to school, or at least prepare them. So we understand you got to make the money, you got to make the Benjamins. Folks, for those of you who are joining us from the diaspora, I am so glad to have you guys with us. I hope a couple of you get a chance to come through. On Wednesday, we'll be having our diaspora day or diaspora night. We're going to have some folks from the diaspora who are going to be on with us, telling us what is happening in the Guyanese community wherever you are. We're going to have someone from Antigua joining us Wednesday coming. We have a colleague joining us from Barbados. We have another colleague who's going to be joining us from Trinidad. We get in the hookup, folks. We have gone regional, and we're going international. If you're interested in being part of our broadcast on Wednesday as a panelist, let us know. You can also WhatsApp to that very number, 627-6963, and let us know that you interested in being part of our diaspora panel. We're going to do it every Wednesday, or at least we're going to try to do it every Wednesday. Get your insights on what's happening in the diaspora where you are, the Guyanese communities where you are overseas. I'm very interested to know that, and for us to get a feedback from you, what's going on there, and what are your concerns happening here at home in Guyana as well, folks. Guys, are you ready? I am ready at my end. I am ready, and I hope you guys are ready too. I'm watching the numbers, folks. We're going to start in just a little bit. Share, retweet, subscribe. I love that. I love that. I can't like you guys. I love that. I love that. Let's get ready to rumble. And we do have that number. And so, folks, let's get ready. Let's get ready. We are off. I love that. And I'm gonna be manning the phones at my end, ensuring that everybody is getting. So you either text us, or you can also I'd rather you send a WhatsApp message. It's going to keep me focused in one place. I should have perhaps say that more explicitly. I'd rather you probably just WhatsApp yes to that number, and we're going to make sure that you guys get it fixed up. It's 627-6963. Just text yes, and we're going to send you that. Folks, we have quite a bit of information to share with you this evening before you guys come in, and let's get to that. Also, an MP might be stopping by this evening to help us through the paces of the program this evening. Let's get to it, folks. Let's get to it. Immediately, I want to turn your attention to COVID-19. Turn your attention to COVID-19, because we have had an upsurge, not only in the number of infections, but also in the number of deaths this evening. So I want to turn your attention to this issue that we are grappling with wherever you are. This is a very, very pervasive issue. Wherever you are joining us from, I'm certain you have some COVID concerns wherever you guys are. And it's more so affecting us tremendously home here in Guyana, even though the government, fraudulent as they are, or perhaps because they're fraudulent, they do not want to admit that COVID is out of hand currently. And today we learned we had a very notable COVID-19 death, and this is as regards journalist Namila Baines Henry, and I think it was Big Smith News Watch that broke this story today, that Miss Henry would have died at the infectious disease hospital at Liliendal, where the COVID-19 patients are housed. And so our thoughts and our prayers go out to her. Miss Henry was a known personality in the local media landscape. She would have also spent some time at DPI. She worked a little bit, I think, at the Attorney General's office, and she was one of the founders, if not the founders, of the one of the newscasts there at Channel 9. Again, well known in the local media landscape, and so our thoughts and our prayers go out to her entire family. Again, we learned that Namila Baines Henry would have lost her battle with COVID-19 at the infectious disease hospital at Liliendal. Folks, it is real. COVID is real. COVID is real, folks. And so again, our thoughts and prayers are with the family of Namila Henry. Our thoughts and our prayers are with her entire family. And we want to turn our attention to another COVID death, but this time in the diaspora. I don't have all the details as yet, but I'm going to give you that which I have. I don't have all the details as yet, but sources would have told us, yeah, sources would have informed us that a Guyanese family out of Toronto is being rocked by COVID-19. And the woman here that I'm showing you, her name is Sharon. I don't have the surname as yet. I'm trying to ascertain that. But if you guys know her, I would love to have the details. Also known as Sherry. Sharon, also known as Sherry. And the case of Sharon's family, it is so sad, folks. According to the folks who are familiar with this COVID-19 death, they tell us that almost 3 weeks ago, her sister died. Sharon's sister died. And just a few days before that sister, just a few days before that sister was buried, her mom died as well. Her mom was buried about 3 days ago. And then I think it was yesterday, if not the day before, Sharon lost her battle with COVID-19. So COVID is on the rampage, folks, not only at home here in Guyana, but also in far-flung Toronto, Canada, folks. It is said that she and her husband were both hospitalized and were on ventilators. Her daughter and granddaughter were at home in quarantine because they were all infected as well. 3 households, right? 3 households of Guyanese heritage rocked by COVID-19, and this is in Toronto, Canada. It is also said that Sharon was a popular businesswoman there in Toronto, Canada, who ran a bus service from Toronto to New York weekly, right? That is the report that we have, that she was a popular businesswoman who ran a bus service from Toronto to New York weekly. So if you guys are familiar with Sharon, I'd love to have some more details. And again, just to underscore how serious COVID-19 is. And so when we say to social distance, to wear your mask, to sanitize, when we ask you to observe all of the regulations, folks, we know precisely what we are talking about. We know precisely, folks, what we are talking about. Good. That being said, I want to turn our attention to the Fagundes affair. This is the young man, Ricardo Fagundes, who was gunned down quite recently, in such a brutal fashion outside of the Palm Court establishment there. And according to reports that we are receiving, sorry, before I go there, I just want to have you know that my apologies there. I'm racing ahead of myself. There were 4 COVID deaths today, home here in Guyana. 4 COVID deaths today. So again, just to give you a sense that there's an uptick in COVID deaths, and we are monitoring this. We are monitoring this, guys. There's an uptick in COVID deaths, and no sooner are we seeing an escalation in the number of deaths, we also see an escalation, rather. I'm thinking exclamation for some reason. There's an escalation in the outreaches that the government is having. And so we see that Colin Crowell from the Ministry of Housing and Water, there's a upcoming public outreach in Essequibo, folks. In Essequibo. I mean, couldn't we give this service without having members of the public come out to greet us? Can't we just deliver the service? No, but we got to stop for a photo op. That is the tragedy that we have. You don't only have to deliver the service, you got to call out people from the various places, call out folks from the various places to get a photo op and have it appear as though it is business as usual. And no sooner are we looking to what is happening, what is transpiring there out of what is planned there at Essequibo, we turn our attention to the National Assembly, where we see also folks not being very, very prudent in terms of COVID-19 regulation and observing COVID-19 regulations at all. So we turn our attention to the National Assembly, ladies and gentlemen, and just yesterday, we saw that the Speaker met with the members of the European Union Elections Observer Mission. And again, the Speaker had COVID-19 twice. The Speaker had COVID twice. This is fact. This is fact. And the speaker should be more interested in observing the COVID protocols. But we don't see, for instance, social distancing being observed here. We don't see that. And that is tremendously sad, because when people see our leaders operate like this, then they perhaps have the sense that, this COVID thing is serious again. So the regulation says one thing, but our actions say something totally different. Our actions say something totally different. Folks, we are following some witch hunting. It continues with the PPPC. Witch hunting continues with the PPPC. And today we saw a young man being terminated from the Ministry of Education. Brushel Blackman worked as the senior public relations officer, and the minister said that when she started at the ministry, this is Manik Chan, when she started at the ministry, that she gave everybody a fair chance, and somehow in her estimation, Mr. Blackman is not performing up to standard based on the amount of work that the ministry has to do. He's not operating up to standard, and so she had to let him go. That's what she said. Strangely enough, the letter reads in part, please feel free to discuss with the human resource manager your interest in further employment with the Ministry of Education. Right? His work performance is poor, so they're letting him go. But please feel free to discuss with the human relations manager your interest in further employment with the Ministry of Education. This is how you dismiss people now. Right? This is how you dismiss people. And what is more interesting is that the minister responded to some concerns that were being expressed on social media. Yes, she's a preposition minister. Responded to some criticism that she was receiving on social media for witch hunting and blacklisting Mr. Blackburn from the ministry's employment. And she wrote a lengthy response. And folks, the word black man appears more than 10 times in this response. The word black man, right? In one instance, she is assuming what will be said and answering herself. If this is not the height of madness, folks, I don't know what is, right? And you know what that famous quotation says, right? He who, or she who, or them who the gods want to destroy, they first make mad, right? So she is creating an allegation and then she's responding, right? This is like Silal Prasad, who wrote himself and answered himself as commissioner of police. Remember the gun license story? The gun business license story? So I think she said in one instance in this letter that persons will want to say that you have fired a black man, a young black man. That's how she started. I don't know where she saw that. I don't know where she saw that statement that persons will say you fired a young black man. And then she purports to respond to her presumption, right? And the word or the phrase young black man is littered in this response, right? So she's talking to herself. She's answering herself. Oh, the young black man, the young black man. Throughout this response, folks, it is sad. It is sad that we are here. It is extremely sad that we're here. And I shouldn't have to tell you, because you've been with me many, many nights, about the scores upon scores of people who have been dismissed from the public service. Scores upon scores of people who have been dismissed from the public service on the minister's assumption or the government's assumption of office. Fraudulent, illegal, installed administration. Hundreds of people have been dismissed from the public service. And your observations are correct. The majority are Afro-Guyanese. The majority are Afro-Guyanese. Twist it, turn it, however you want to put it. The majority are Afro-Guyanese. Just last evening, Member Parliament Ganesh Maipal was on our program talking about what is transpiring, for instance, at the Ministry of Local Government. Same modus operandi, right? Firing this the reckless firing of black people, right? The young black man, according to the minister, right? You know, I don't know if people don't understand this, but culturally, right? Culturally, when it is acceptable culturally for one black person to say to the other, "You are my nigger," right? When another race says, "No, no, 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 no," hold your brakes, folks. Right. So I think the minister thinks it's appropriate for her to be referencing this young black man. Right. She's assuming people will say you have fired a young black man. And so she takes off on a tangent. More than 10 times she alludes to this phrase in this Facebook post. It is sad, honestly. Right? It is sad to see Priya in this mode. It is sad because whatever she's hoping to achieve by it, she missed the mark big time. And I hope that the Ethnic Relations Commission, who seem only to be watching me every night, I don't mind, who seem only to be watching in the ring. Y'all can come in the ring too. We can send y'all the link and y'all can come in the ring. But I hope y'all would have seen Priya's posts, have taken note, and find the laws and statutes that are being violated and write to the minister. Right? Because you all wrote to me, the ERC wrote to me saying thing that I had some program, and even though I didn't violate any known laws, they were strongly condemning something I would have said, purported to have said. Their own letter said I broke no laws, no known laws, but they were still strongly condemning. So I wish and I hope that you all are looking at this issue here, because it is sad to see where we have descended to. And the minister could try to justify her actions. Oh, she liked Mr. Blackman and all of that. And the way she writes about, I met Brushell, right? As though, you know, there's just this laissez-faire kind of attitude operating at the ministry, right? This whole post here by the Minister of Education, I forget from anybody else, needs to be reworked. The structure, the construction, the everything about it is not befitting a Minister of Education in Guyana or any part of the Caribbean region, or the world for that matter. Right? I don't know what was this lecture on race and her trying to locate herself as being sympathetic to the young black man, but that letter, that post there is madness. And I hope the ERC is taking note. I hope the ERC is taking note. Folks, in other news this evening, I had run ahead of myself a little bit, and I want to dial back to the Fagundes affair. Again, this is the young man, Ricardo Fagundes, who was gunned down there outside of the Palm Court establishment. Somebody would have called him and asked him to step outside to meet with them, and then he was never to return to Palm Court. He was gunned down outside there. Interestingly, a piece of reporting that we are picking up on this afternoon says that questions were posed to the Minister of Home Affairs, Mr. Robeson-Ben, on Thursday. I think we're picking this up from Dem Waves. Home Affairs Minister Robeson-Ben on Thursday, the report says, gave skimpy, that's the word from the article, skimpy details concerning the execution style gunning down of gold miner Ricardo Fagundes earlier this week, and dismissed suggestions that the dead man was allegedly linked to drug trafficking. This is where it gets interesting. So he dismisses that Fagundes was linked to drug trafficking. In the next breath, according to the report, Robeson-Ben says, I haven't asked for more from the police other than they are working on it. So there is nothing more to be said about that. So he didn't ask the police information, but he knows that the gunning down of Fagundes is not linked to drug trafficking. I'm not saying that it is, but it's just strange that he didn't talk to the police. He didn't get involved in the investigation, basically, but he knows It is not linked to drug trafficking. Interesting. So, folks, we are following that. I think a Starbuck News report suggests that Mr. Fagundes was shot over 20 times. If I am correct, that piece of reporting suggests that Mr. Fagundes was shot over 20 times, ladies and gentlemen. Over 20 times. Yep. Over 20 times. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Over 20 times. Do we have anybody coming in this evening? I'm preparing for us to head that way. Folks, a bit of additional information on the COVID front. In the month of March thus far, and today's the 25th, we still have 5 days to go. In the month of March, 26 persons have died as a result of COVID-19. In the month of March alone, 26 persons have died from COVID-19. 26. I just want to pause there. Right? So you can have an appreciation. 26 persons would have died from COVID-19. Folks, again, if you want to join the discussion live, the number is 627-6963. Just text yes to that number, and I'd be happy to have you on. Back on the COVID front, not only has 76 persons died from COVID-19 for March alone, just today, there were 74 new confirmed cases of COVID-19. 74 new confirmed cases of COVID-19, ladies and gentlemen. So we are monitoring that, right? So those are the stats. 26 deaths in March alone, 4 deaths just today, and then 74 new confirmed cases of COVID-19. 74 new confirmed cases of COVID-19. That being said, I want to give a shout out to Junie and Sonette, Aubrey Alexander, Nadia, all the folks on the live there, seeing you guys. Claudette, Harry, good to see you there too. Again, if you folks are coming through, the number is 627-6963. Just text, just WhatsApp yes to that number. And I'm going to be certain to send you the link for you to come on, and let's have your views on any of the many stories that we will have gone through this evening. I see MP Ganesh Maipal is there also. And I was saying earlier on, based on what we are learning now is transpiring at the Ministry of Education, it was almost identical to what Ganesh was identifying at the Ministry of Local Government just last night. I see Nigel Anderson is on from the British Virgin Islands. Go to see Nigel and Kevin, Oswald Elias and Renita Andrews, Loetta France, all of you guys. Linda McCalmont, how are you guys doing there? Good to see all of you guys. I see Jamal Aziz is watching us from Berbice, the ancient county. Good to see all of you guys on the live this evening. And I left a little room this evening so that we can talk, that you guys can come on and you guys can share your thoughts on any number of issues that we have discussed. Again, the number is 627-6963. Just text yes or WhatsApp yes to that number. I'm going to send you the link and you come in. I want people coming in the scaredy. You understand me? We big people, we know what we are about. Let's get to it. I'd be happy to hear from some of you, especially those persons from the diaspora. I see Kenny Valadares is joining us this evening. Good to see Kenny all the way from the mining town of Linden. Good to see Kenny and Rensford Morgan and Lynette Goodman, Lynette Zephyr. A lot of Lynette's on the stream tonight. William King. Good to see all of you guys. Guys, give us a share this evening. Share our live stream on Facebook. Give us a retweet if you're joining us on Twitter. We're also on YouTube, guys. Give us a businesswoman there. I'd love to have some more information. So just text yes to that number, and I'm going to send you guys a link. Right? Let me see if I can. Did I get it right? It's good to see you guys. What's happening there? I'd love to hear from you, Sean. Out of Toronto, Canada, who lost their battle with COVID-19. And I'm going to be sharing some more information a little later on in the program concerning that. There are folks also messaging me saying good night and so forth and such and such and such, right? But nobody wants to step in the ring. Y'all don't be afraid, folks. We don't bite on Thursday nights, right? We don't bite on Thursday nights. It's Friday nights you got to frighten us. It's Friday nights you got to be worried. The end of the week. All right. So again, our thoughts and prayers are with that family from Annandale whose son was stabbed, according to reports here, 7 times by some youngsters on bicycle. Folks, this is where we are. This is where we are. Every day it's something. This is the descent into anarchy where we are heading. Yeah. And I see folks here, expressing their own disgust based on the comments, expressing their disgust. All right. Good to see all of you there. All right. It looks as though we're going to have somebody coming through now. Bear with us, folks. Bear with us. Excuse me just a minute. Bear with us. All right. Good to see all of you out this evening. Good to see. Guys, you must pray for this country. Yeah? Pray for this country. I'm sweating a little bit at my end. Pray for this country. Pray for this country, folks. we need God now more than ever. We need the Lord now more than ever. We need the Lord now more than ever, folks. Right? It is real. It is real. It is ever going to get. And if you guys would have been watching us, we have been chronicling here, right? Make sure I'm not shining too much. We have been chronicling here this steep descent. It's not a slow, it's a steep descent into anarchy in this country from August 2nd to now. On every front, every day, it's something. On every front, every day, it's something. Right? Patricia Sana, good to see you there. Patricia is at ringside. Good to see you there, Patricia. All right, I'm trying to bring up some of these comments. Right. Somebody said I look a little tired, folks. It's Guyana. We are living in these situations tire you. I can't lie. These situations tire you, right? It is one thing to the next. It is one thing to the next in this country. When you got situations like these to deal with on a daily basis, what do you think is going to happen? Yep. I see Deborah Tyndall is joining us from New York, right? And I'm so happy that so many of you are joining us like this and are keeping abreast with what is happening in this country. We are setting aside Wednesday night in particular. We have identified some folks from the diaspora who we're going to be talking with. And this is a night when we set aside this evening to talk to anybody. And I wish some of you would come on and share your views. Whether you want to come on via camera, you can do that, or whether you just want to come on via audio, you can do that as well. The number is 627-6963. I'm not going to go until I have a couple of you on this evening, and I get to hear your thoughts, right? Where is Nicole when I need her? And where is Randy? So I really want a couple of you to come on. It is extremely hot in the studio here this evening. Right? Extremely hot. I've never been this hot before. Good to see all of you out this evening, though. And I'm so quite a few of you are expressing your disgust and dismay with what is happening here. Folks, look, you don't have a reason to be outside. COVID alone should cause us to be in our house, in our homes. COVID alone, right? Much more what, we are going back to that pre-2015 era. we're going back to that pre-2015 era. All right, that pre-2015 era. That's where we're heading back to. Where it was murder and mayhem and bloodshed. God forbid. God forbid. Right? But those of you who know how to pray, those of you who believe in God and in a God, now is a good time to call on them. We don't want to go back there by any means. Folks, I want to hear from some of you this evening. We set aside a part of the program just to hear from you guys. Just text yes to WhatsApp if you please. 627-6963. Is there anybody who isn't getting through? Some folks messaged me earlier and said yes, quite a few of them. And we send the link. I hope we don't have any technical, we're not having any technical challenges. I love to hear from some of you. Nadia Seaforth and is it Stroll and Patterson? I see Netta is joining us on Twitter. Netta Fraser, good to see you. Netta always giving me a comment or two on Twitter. Let me bring it up for you. This is Netta on Twitter saying good night and good night to you as well. And she always makes sure she retweets our live stream. And I really, really appreciate that. Really, really appreciate that. Good night to you and all the other folks who are picking us up on Twitter, and those of you guys who are also picking us up on YouTube. I see there's a Ricky on the chat. I see Brenda's also joined us. I see is it Andre Ramaya also joining us? Good to see all of you folks. Good to see all of you folks. All right, some folks are trying to chat me up here. Just say yes if you want the live stream. Right? Just say yes if you have the live stream, and I would love to have you you on. You know, some people see me live and they would be trying to chat me up with all kinds of stuff. No, except for the things that I want to talk about. Right? For all the extraneous matters, you guys are going to come in later on. All the extraneous matters, guys, bear with us. We're going to have somebody joining us now. Bear with us. We're going to have somebody joining us now. Let me make sure we have that right. Yep. Bear with me. All right. Your cancer didn't set aside any time for you. You can't see that at all. So he's going to be with us in a second. Bear with us, and we're going to walk through some of the issues we have discussed this evening. A big shout out to each and every one of you who have given us a share on social media this evening. Whether it's on Twitter, it's on Facebook, it means the world to us. And when my friend comes in, I can just tell him to just start fighting, just start pelting, punch, and so on. We aren't waiting. We mean business. So while he comes in, folks, again, we are. Let me make sure I get this right. I love this audio. So I'm going to play it as much as possible. I'm sorry. Yep. And there you have it. That is precisely what we're doing. All right. All right. That's what we're getting ready to do. And I think we're going to be joined by, yeah. We're almost there, folks. Bear with us. We almost have our guest on. And again, I see so many nasty comments. Oh God, why we gotta be so nasty in our comments on social media? Why we have to be so nasty with each other? I'm seeing some of the comments on the string there, and it's like a night can't go by where we just try to be civil. In the words of Rodney King, can't we just all get along, folks? Can't we just all get along? Huh? You know, when my colleague comes in, y'all get jealous, you know, that you're but it's going to be good for y'all that y'all didn't seize the opportunity. Very good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Welcome in the ring. Talk to us.
I have been listening to your program, looking at the headlines, and I must enough of concern on social media for two major questions shared. I don't know if you can help me with some. One, how many CXCs are required to become a member of parliament? And two, are we going back to dark days?
We can take the latter first. Yes, on the PPP, we are definitely going back to dark days. Agree. We are definitely going back to dark days. On the issue with the CXC to parliament, well, unless you're going to be a parliamentary staff, right, in the sense that you work there every day,
Okay,
right? I guess CXC subjects are required in that sense, but in terms of being a parliamentarian, well, it's
right.
mainly all sorts of stuff. With people like Kwame and his ilk. Is anybody?
Okay, okay. So are you saying there's
Sadly,
no statutory requirement to become a parliamentarian, like CXCs and that kind of thing?
the only requirement I think, among the few, if I can pick offhand, is that you are not supposed to have been indicted on any matter or would have been, yeah, something of that nature.
Okay.
What are your thoughts there?
I know it's just some clarification. So, a video on Facebook wanted to know if there was any gravitas to that stands behind such a statement.
No,
But
but to be frank, one would hope that political parties send people with some academic knowledge, right? Because there are a lot of
oh,
issues that you have to think through. This is policy. You're setting policy and laws and so on for the country, right?
mhm. And one would
And one would
assume
hope, yeah.
with that right thinking, balanced individuals would make such a decision. But Shared, I want to pick up something you were mentioning earlier about asking persons to pray. Um, because I
Well, we
can
know the
remember
government don't like prayers. That's all.
no.
Let's just put it out there.
So I remember pre 2015, a lot of prayer there from all religious persuasion.
Mhm.
Churches, some included bishops, some not, but they all agreed that one thing, that as a country we needed to God's guidance. I
Mhm.
am table coming of parliament like yourself, because it says one thing. One, you acknowledge that we need to seek help, and two, you also acknowledge in that request know everything and we don't have all this.
Yeah, point taken. Agra, just stay with us. I have another, and I have another caller in. Good evening, Jack
Hello.
Powell.
Yes,
Good
sir.
evening.
Yeah, good evening,
You're on.
Sherrod. I'm happy to be on.
I'm
All the way
happy
from
you're on.
Barbados.
Why you all take so long, eh?
I try on many occasions to get on this show, and I'm happy to be on this show to share some views. Being on the show almost every night, tune in. Said
Mhm.
you're doing a fantastic job. I want to give Ganesh Paul a great thumbs up because this guy is continuing to do great works and
Yeah,
make
yeah.
all Chinese proud. But I've been falling over and over about these allegations about so many things that's going on in Ghana. It's sad to hear and sad to know that so many things is going on there over the years. Over the last couple of months, I want to say, since the last administration had come to office, and it's sad to say that from where probably we were heading in a direction under the Granger-led administration to where we are now is really sad to see that a country, I think, that was heading in a straight and narrow path, turned back to where it is now. Sad to say. I would like to say one of the things that really bothers me is that I'm trying to figure out every single day as I come on the show and hear all these things happening in Guyana, who is basically running the country? Is it Ali or is it Jack Hugh? Those are,
You know
mixed
the
views.
answer. You know the answer,
you know, and
right? You know
and
the answer.
and some things. The education sector. I'm still trying to figure out who really make Priya China Minister of Education. Who really? It's sad. It's sad when education is a key to success, and the children of the day who's in dire needs of education and stuff like that, and the kind of way she behaves. I think like even when I follow Parliament and see our code of conduct, the way she behaves in Parliament is really not right and appealing for the people,
Absent of code of
young.
conduct. There is no code of conduct.
Yeah, it is really sad. And I don't know if it's a cowboy show they're running there, but they needs to look into some of these ministers, even the one Kwame McCoy. Come on, this guy has a terrible record, and up to date, he is still known to be a minister in the House of Assembly, which is the highest order, and they need to look into that. And if this government continue to say, I hate is something that I hate to hear. The president, Mr. Ali said, is one Guyana or Guyana for all or all the people of Guyana. But according to what I'm seeing and hearing every single day, it is not so. It is clearly not so, right? And
Point taken.
it
Stay with
is,
us,
and
Jack.
yeah,
Agree? What are your thoughts there?
Things that I was is that there need to be some things that I need to reintroduce a word for persons to think about that's non-partisan. If we agree, the students being affected are from all of the regions, and in particular, given that one of the hardest, I would have
Agree, you break
hoped
up
for
a little bit.
some level of non-partisan. Yes, are you hearing me now?
Yes.
But hope of non-partisan interaction on education. Yeah, because across the board, regardless of your constituency, there are students who are behind. This is established. And a nonpartisan approach, whether it means reaching out educators on the opposition side, along with a few ministers on the government side, to sit together as a mature bunch of individuals, put country first, come up with a strategy that will have opposition and government support, implement it for the sake of our children. I expected. I probably expect too much, but that is what I was looking for based on the comments of the last contributor.
Jack?
well, education is a key, and if we wanted to move forward, I guess education must be the number one factor in everything, whatever we do.
Education
And
is the key, but not everybody finding the door.
well, it's a serious thing, and and when it comes to the highest order, which is the parliament, and then people are not behaving in the right manner, then it's called to questioning. And for instance, like this assault alleged, I'm saying because I was not there, assault on one of the ministers, and then the speaker of the house. I'm sorry to say, Sharad, that you were suspended. Yeah, they pack up and tell you to well cool out. You're too much. But anyway, and I think if you are in the highest house, or I think the speaker should be the one who controls the house, and he should be the one who is saying, well, look, there should be a suspended order or something, the same way they can suspend you and Christopher. And I think the same way that should apply to these ministers on the government side, and make things better. Because at the end of the day, I want to say this, and I want to say this in a loud manner. There were times over these years where people who lives overseas could not hold their head up high. They could not walk and hold their head up high. They were not proud to say that they're from Guyana. I'm telling you this. Some could say not, and some could say what they want to say, but that is the fact. So when people might say, oh, we're PNC or PPP or this or that app, new AFC, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, when you do something wrong in another country, it or you do something bad in Guyana, it doesn't reflect as whether you're Indian, black, or whatever race you are. It reflects as a Guyanese in the whole, right? So you don't need to be I don't think you have to be in Guyana to raise your whole head. Guyanese in all that part of the world, the whole entire diaspora want to hold their head up high. So they're looking in, and we have social media. Social media is we call a click of a finger. So we have to be very careful in how we conduct ourselves, because everybody is watching, everybody is seeing, and you can clearly see that the PPP, and people might say, oh, because they want to say, I want to use the words. They might say, oh, because you're black, you're heavy on the PPP, because they no, but I don't believe in whether you're Indian ruling or whoever you're ruling. I want you to rule in the best interest of each and
Correct. For
every
all the people.
individual in the country, because people are looking on. We need to get rid from this whole and I can tell you this. I think I heard about racism and as growing up, which I've never known about and a part of it. But I'm gonna tell you this. This is the first time in my life that I have ever witnessed racism to the highest level. To the highest level. And it is
Yeah.
ridiculous. It needs to start. And this is the 21st century. We're not supposed to heading back into that sort of regime or that direction. We should be heading forward and set an example as we go forward.
Yeah. And Aponali seems to think if you say oneness and corridor unity and ministry of happiness, we are going to have that. But we have had one people, one nation, and one destiny for the longest while. Right? But
But I'm
we are no closer to attaining that than
but
we were
Sherrod,
50 years ago.
Sherrod, if I could get in a little bit more, when you study it, we have one of the best motto in the world, you know,
Yeah.
and and we have one of the best flag in the world, because the flag
We got
carries almost every
we got
color.
the best everything in the world on paper.
Yes, when we look at our motto and we look at our flag, it combines almost every color in the world. And and one people, one nation, one destiny. If we ever listen to that motto and we follow that motto, we will be one of the best country in the world that people will look up to instead of looking down at. It's sad. We need to start looking up to those things that we have, and try to set examples so the world can follow.
Yeah. You asked me earlier on, or was it agree about who's in charge? And I want to show you who is in charge.
Who-
All right. Just give me a second there. Let me get it right. All right.
Mhm.
When you look at the photograph, you know who is in charge. You don't have to ask.
Well,
All
yeah,
right.
well,
Members of the head table.
well, it's sad to know that you have a guy who sets what do you call it these the orders, the constitution of saying that you can only run twice as a president, but it clearly shows most of the time he's basically president in a third term. Clearly, you could see it
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah. It made us say the other evening that very, very soon, what we'll be seeing, the man will be standing up next to Irfan while he's making his public speeches. Because that's the only thing left
yes,
now. He's part of every meeting, you know,
yeah, yeah.
because we understand it's a puppet show. So just now, very soon we can see this. You
And
understand me?
I clearly doesn't have anything against Efren personally. I don't know the guy. And I said the first thing I want to say is that I want the listeners to really understand. I want the people who supports the PPP so strongly, and that I wanted to ask this question: what about a person, because it's alleged that the president, the highest order, holding there's a 19 fraud charge towards his name. There are places that he cannot travel to as the president.
Yeah.
What about a person who is below the president, who will have something like one fraud charge? how would you that stand up in court?
You know, the moment for me was when Irfan was on Critics program. And Critics
Yeah,
point, he said back in 19, 19 for charges. You know,
and
Ghana's
cannot
not a real
travel to
place.
some places, right? And
Yeah,
cannot. So how are you gonna manage by in the
yeah,
court system by with a person who have one or two alleged fraud charges to the name? How the court is gonna stand up with such a thing? And and these is things that we need to look into. And as I said, I don't have anything really against Ali. I would like to see him run the country on his own to see how that will work. So, but I really believe if you have the likes of Anin Nandalal, Gil Teixeira, and Barry Jaffio around them, it's a real confusion. And I'm going to say this, without fear and favor, when I saw that this regime here brought back some of those old vagabonds who were putting Guyana in such a mess, something like the Happy, Hickens, Bleman, all of these old stalwarts that were under investigations to run the police force, to run these ministry, it showed clearly that you're heading in a corrupted path. It's clear that is where you head. You're heading in a corrupted path, and you're heading in a dictatorship when when you bring back all of these people who are also on the investigation. It
yeah.
sends a clear message of corruption.
All of the old used tires. All used tires.
You can't, well, I don't.
Sure,
That's what they are.
I would like
Yes, I
to,
agree.
I would, I would like to draw on something one of your commenters mentioned,
What I want you
and
to
it's
draw, I want you all to be quicker on the draw. Towards the night, we open the lines for members of the public to come through and express themselves. So draw quick on that. Right there, I agree.
right. Good. One of the things the commenter said is that President David Granger's legacy will be one of the fairest and most even-handed presidents we have seen in a very long time. And I think
Endorsed.
uh, criticize internally and externally, you cannot say David Arthur Granger was racist. You cannot point to policies
Yeah.
would be for his people alone. He didn't fire people even within his own office, and his
Yeah.
heart clearly was in his action. And I think in the first interview of the current president, he mentioned to Neil Marks that he looked at the culture and the identity of the Jamaicans and other CARICOM countries and say what is truly Guyanese. And I see some of the acolytes, as my mother will call them, on social media trying to broach the question of what is the Guyanese identity and that kind of a thing. And he said right there and then he wants to create a one Guyana. And it was nice words, but then literally mornings you saw the actions. And one of the things that the government has as an issue right now is lack of credibility when they say certain things.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think
When they're talking about one Guyana, the winking so the signal to prayer, fire a couple of them at education. One
Yeah,
Guyana, fire a couple of them at ministry local government. That's the one Guyana they're talking
Mhm.
about. Folks, we
yeah.
almost
So,
out of time. I want us to wrap
yep.
up. Oh God, we've got a little bit over time. Yeah. Final thoughts.
Well, Sherrod, I will wrap up. I want to say good night to the listeners and all the listeners and the viewers. I want to say
Any
to the
exceptions?
people.
Any exceptions?
The, the exception is Priya Manichan because I still question her the way she runs the ministry. I still wanted to know how she becomes education minister. I still question that every single day. I've been in the teaching system, so I know how the teaching system runs. So I have an idea, and she's running very poorly. Good night to all except Priya for me. I want to say I've been on this the first time I call in life. I want to big up David Arthur Granger. He's the one who makes me get so much involved in this whole politics and this apnea. I want to say big that is a man with a big heart. He have done fantastically well for Guyana. I think he deserve probably just at least another term to finish the work he has started, and has been cut short. All these things I want to say. Sherrod, I want to say, you'll continue to do a good job. Continue to keep it up. Big up my friend Christopher Jones and Ganesh Maipal. And that is what I will say until wrapping. Good night to all, except Priya Manichan.
There you have it. Jack Power, thank you.
All right, Sherrod.
Agree.
Until next week.
In 30 seconds. Agree?
Right.
30 seconds, agree.
Hear me?
30 seconds.
Good. I agree. I agree with the last person, and I would like to say that whether or not Mr. Granger remains leader of the PNC, I think his vision would party and country or party, but that vision, yes, I think whatever vision should be carried forward. And I would like to see critical things like education and be dealt with in a non-partisan way in a truly, truly developing country. And right, I like to say good night, except the Guyana police force, based on what we witnessed here. Thank you.
I don't think I got space for all of these excepts. All right, so we're doing 2 this evening. So good night to all except the Guyana police force and Priya Manichan. I think I have the police force. Yeah, good night to all except the Guyana police force.
Sherrod, I'm free. You can invite me at any time. You can invite me anytime on the show.
Good. Thursday evenings, we can leave it a little bit open for folks like you to come on and voice your concerns. Thanks for joining, folks.
No problem. Good night to everyone in Guyana and all in the diaspora. All right.
Wear your mask and so forth. Thanks for coming through, folks. Mark is coming up, and we commend Straight Up with Mark Benchcup to you. It's coming up on social media. Thanks for joining us, guys. Do have a safe evening and take care. Thanks, guys. Stay safe.